You know exactly what I'm talking about. You've been in that moment where you ask why. God, what are you doing? Are you asleep at the wheel? Like, who's driving this thing? What's going on? But you know what I'm talking about. You've been there. Some of you are in this room today and you've decided not to follow Jesus because of the idea that your heart and your mind can't comprehend that a God that is all loving and all powerful and just supposed to be great because we sing about him, lets these things happen. How could a good God allow this? He must not be out there, because if he was, there's no way he would let this happen. Obviously, he's not engaged. He's not paying attention. And many of you, you've decided to not follow. And if you are a Christian, you have this mindset like I do. And it goes like this, is that if God could, then God should. That when we hear that reading that young man read, and then we hear this song, and we sit there and we go, if we could sum that up, if we could grab onto something, it's this idea that if God could, then God should. If God could take away the pain that some of you feel here today, if God could take away some of the hurt in the world, if God could get involved in the brokenness of this place, if he could, then let's be real, he should. Like, fix it. Ultimately, God should respond to the pain, the suffering, and all the injustice that's going on. Many of us have built a heart and a mindset on this idea that if God could, he should. Well, we can take that a step further, right? Like, if God could, he should. That's great. But many times what we see is God can, but he doesn't. We have this idea where God's big enough. We know he's big enough. And we know we could do this, but in our moment, what does he do? Nothing. Like I talked about job loss for me. That was 3 years ago for me. Some of you are sitting in that right now. Where you're like, I provide for my family, I need a job, I need an income, this is my profession, this is what I love. But at the end of the day, God, you could save this, but you're not. So you're sitting here today and you're in separation in your relationship, in your marriage, heading for divorce. And at your wit's end, you sit down at night and you pray and you go, God, I know you could fix this. I know you could heal me. I know you could heal this person. You can. But you haven't. And I've been in situations before around family where we've talked about somebody sick. I was sitting in a hospital with a niece of mine, 19-year-old niece. We got in a car accident on the way to my grandpa's funeral. And we're sitting around her hospital bed, and we're sitting there, and we're praying, God, heal her, God, heal her, God, heal her. And he didn't. He could. He could have. But he didn't. In these moments when we feel and we think that God could and he should, but he doesn't, he chooses not to act, he chooses not to intervene, he chooses not to change the situation, many times what we do, what I do, is we put ourselves a little bit of distance, and a little bit more distance, and a little bit more distance, and then it feels like God is hidden. And it feels like God's far away. And then it feels like he doesn't exist. And then we get back in that loop of if God could, he should. And if he's good, and we just start building this wall between God and me. We start putting these bricks in every moment. And we take our expectation, because expectations are the devil. And we take reality, and there's a distance between them. And we sit there and we go, okay, God, there's a distance. We don't say this, like that'd be weird, but we say, okay, God, like there's a distance between my expectation and reality, and this hurts. And so I'm going to start putting these bricks in between us. I'm going to start building this wall. We take our emotions, right? Because, well, especially for some of us in here that like we're really, really good at hiding our emotions. You don't know me. My name's Bill. I've been here for a few weeks here at the Kensington Birmingham campus. I'm the new campus director. But if you were to get to know me, or even better yet, if you were to ask my wife who's at Smash this weekend, partying down, if you were to ask her, hey, how good is Bill about expressing his emotions? She would say, like, on this scale from, like, dead to the guy singing this song right here, she'd put me, like, in a robot. Like, that's where she'd put me on that list. She'd say, well, because she used to ask me, like, I'd come home from work, and she'd go, hey, how was your day? Good? She's like, anything more? No, it was a good day. Some of you are laughing right now because that's true. But that was like the way I functioned. But what I had learned over time is that emotions, like we don't want to deal with those. We stuff them down, right? Like we stuff them down, stuff them down, stuff them down. We take this hurt, and we take this disappointment, and we take these moments, especially with God, and we just kind of stuff them down. And we go, God, there's distance between my expectation and reality, and I can't deal with it right now. And so